What is up? Coming to you with an unboxing. It's been coming for a while, right? For those of you that have, kind of been waiting. Once I leaked the information about this action figure coming to me, different friends and groups, people I knew would be excited. So, officially got it in hand, and we are doing an unboxing today. It'll be my first unboxing ever. So it'll be a good time. Try to make this as detailed as possible and informational for you. Let you know everything about this action figure that I possibly can. Just doing all my research and making sure it's a good video. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and unbox this for you. And here we are. It's unboxed. Is this not the coolest Naruto action figure you've ever seen? That's because it's a regular Bandai's anime hero, Naruto. No. This is what we got going for you today. I'm gonna open up the box, let you see. Boom! That is a 1/6 scale Naruto Shippuden, Naruto Uzumaki by Zen Creations. See that right up here. Now this is the ultimate version. You can see that there on the sticker, right? Which means it does come with extra accessories, which I will go ahead and show you. The box itself, just to kind of give a little bit of a review, let you see all the different sides here. Not much to it in the front. Obviously, you have a picture of the figure itself, Naruto Shippuden. Then I'm sure this probably says the same thing, Naruto Shippuden, or I think it might actually say Naruto Uzumaki. I think that's what this is in Japanese letters. Don't quote me on that. I'm not super well versed in Japanese, although I am taking Japanese, funny enough. Currently I'm learning it, but not quite that far. All the different sides here. So on the side itself, you'll see has a name, and it has like a, I don't know what to call it, like a batch code or a series code. You'll see it say PAF001, so it's kind of let you know what series or batch it belongs to. I'm sure people that are still waiting for their ultimate versions to come out, that they pre-ordered. I also pre-ordered mine back in May, June. For those that aren't super familiar with, the whole process with figures like these, if you go to different retailers or resellers, some of them are, like Toys Wonderland, Big Bad Toy Store, Zen Creations themselves, the manufacturer's website, they even do, pre-orders. And with the pre-order, you pay a small installment on your actual total price. For this one, it's $240, $235, $239, something like that. Full price. So you pay upfront $35 for for your pre-order. Then of course you just wait until it comes, and then once you get the notification from the retailer saying that it is in stock, then they will go ahead and charge your card for the rest. So plus the shipping and handling, stuff like that, of course. But yeah, so waited a while for this one. I also pre-ordered the Gara, which is part of the same series, same company, Zen Creations. That one's supposed to be coming fourth quarter, so usually that means by the end of the year. A lot of times what you'll see is it will continuously get pushed back if there are some delays. So right now it's fourth quarter, but that could change. It could change to beginning of 2022. It could change to mid 2022. Who knows? But you just have to look for those updates. But yeah, that's enough information so far. Just gonna go ahead and open this up, let you guys take a peek at the figure and the accessories. All right, so out of the box, just a quick little rundown of what we're seeing here. Little clamshell case. I think that's what you would call it, clamshell case. I don't know the specific technical term for this. This comes in its own case, the giant shuriken with a hand on it. One of the extra pieces, you can probably barely see it because of the reflection, but also in there you have that extra headband piece as well. Then the big box, of course, got Naruto himself, extra hands, and we'll go over some of the different functions of the hands, extra head sculpts, that for. Now the ultimate version, just so you know, comes with 13 hands altogether. So you have this by itself, you have the hands he comes with, you have the 5 hands over here, then you have the 4 hands with a hand attached to the Rasengan, and then an extra hair sculpt. So a lot of accessories comes with this, and then the giant shuriken is another accessory that comes with it. So if you get the standard version comes with I think 8 or 9 hands. It does have the Rasengan. It does have holding hands, which I'll show you the function of those here in a little bit. I'm not going to go over all the hands. They're pretty standard. You can kind of see what they do. He comes with 2 kunai knives. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and take them out of the box, show you guys a little bit of the other stuff here. Now, as I'm unboxing this, I'm trying to be extra careful. This will be my personal figure. I did not buy more than one. I don't intend to get a backup, and I don't intend to resell this. Now, when it comes to what I intend to do currently, that can always change, right? I put it like this: if this action figure becomes so valuable to other collectors that somebody offers me $1,000 for it or something, as much as I love Naruto, I got a SH Figuarts Naruto on the way anyway, and I can always get the standard edition because that's still available. So sorry, ultimate version, you would be going in the mail to another collector for $1,000. I mean, yeah. First thing I'm going to get out is some of these hands here, just to show you, not all of them, but just some detail here. So of course, this is one of the hand signed, jutsu hand signed. There's 2 of these, obviously one for each hand. Nice little bit of detail on that as far as the paint goes, and the sculpt of the hand itself, which I know it's like, well, yeah, it's an expensive figure, it better be super detailed, but at the same time, it's a cartoon action figure as well, so sometimes you don't really know what to expect when it comes to detail. Then another one of the accessories that I'll show you here, well, one of the hands and accessories. So this is the holding hand. So one thing that you might notice, especially for people who are avid collectors of different figures, is that, man, that's a tiny hole and the fist is closed. So there's literally just a hole that goes through the hand, and you would think like, well, how does he hold things? And I'm about to show you. So these hands are specifically made just to hold the kunai knife. So you'll see on the end of the kunai knife, just like in the show, if you're familiar with that, little, ring on the end of that, little finger hole, rather. So you take this off, actually, it comes off, and it is really flimsy. You can see how thin the plastic is that goes into this, so you gotta be real careful with your posing and things like that. I learned that the hard way. I've already broken one of these, there's 2. But so you take this handle end, and depending on how you want to put it in the hand, you can put it in. Sometimes Naruto holds his kunai like this, right? Upside down, and then you just, put this back on there, and boom, he's holding a kunai knife. And the cool thing about this, now, for those that are 1/6 scale collectors who are pretty used to features like this, probably not that cool. It's probably like, yeah, a lot of figures come with fitted hands, so it's not that cool a feature. But me, I'm used to 6-inch figures like this, who, he's holding a kunai knife, but if I shake him enough, he'll probably drop it. Okay, maybe not, but it's pretty flimsy. It's not very tight in there. You see a big old hole that's kind of just a general holding position. So it's not very tight. He drops a lot of stuff, you know, it's not very cool. So this is a really cool feature. I'm glad they included. It's cool to me because it's my first time seeing something like this. And then for, you know, also for people who are not avid 12 inch or 6 scale collectors, it's like one of those things that might make you a 6 scale collector because you're like, man, that's some cool detail right there. Yeah. So that goes back in there. Or another cool hand on the right side that I'll show you is going to be just a thumbs up here. So, you know, you can do the nice little like pose with the thumbs up. Something simple if you're into that. Then it comes with a nice little smirk face. So the pose would go well if you just got him standing up with one hand with the thumbs up and a little smirk. Then it's got kind of like an action pose where, you know, if you're doing the Rasengan on the right hand, you're probably gonna have him looking like this. If you got him in a battle ready pose, probably wanna go with this one, you know, that type of thing. Extra hair sculpt, just to kind of show you, you know, if you're doing an action pose, it'll show like his hair swaying in the wind, that type of thing. Then of course gonna go ahead and take this giant shuriken out, show you that accessory. So the cool thing about both the Rasengan, as you can see, I'll put that closer to the camera, right? And the giant shuriken is that they have hands already attached to them. So again, for those of us that collect enough 6-inch figures and trying to deal with positioning certain accessories, and I'll show you an example with this 6-inch Naruto Uzumaki. This is a Anime Heroes Series 1. So this is his Rasengan hand. Not super detailed, as you can tell. The fingers look like baby fingers. I don't know what that's about. And then of course this little Rasengan feature has a peg that you're supposed to fit in the hole here. And it's not very sturdy. You shake them enough and it will come out. Now, of course, for those that, you know, really just use figures like this to display, you're probably not shaking them super violently. But I mean, keep in mind, this here is a kid's toy. So, you know what I mean? Like, this is really meant for kids to play with because it's so cheap. You know, it's $20 and it's not very detailed. This is something that you wouldn't be upset about if you broke it or whatever. But for those of us that collect figures like this and, you know, kind of wish for some additional features, you know, you take that and you upgrade it to this Rasengan ain't going nowhere. Unless you're super violent with it and break it, which, you know, that's possible. But yeah, so this is for the people who are like, man, I'm tired of my accessories not fitting the way I want to. They did the job for us. So I think that's one of my favorite features as well. All right. Oh, last set of accessories we'll talk about that are not attached to the figure is going to be these additional wrist pegs, which I think is one of the coolest things to include as far as, you know, just thinking about the consumer and making sure that those of us who like to change stuff a lot. I'll tell you what, I got this figure on Sunday. Today's Tuesday. I've probably taken this box out 5 to 10 times, just doing poses, taking pictures of poses, you know, with different hands, all that stuff. So for me, because I like to take a lot of pictures and things like that, you know, I'm gonna change a lot of the stuff, the face plates, all that. So having these extra wrist pegs is definitely a plus for me because I'm bound to break one. Like I said, as far as accessories and breaking them goes, I've already broken a kunai knife, right? So, you know, stands to reason I'd probably break some more stuff. All right, so that's it for accessories. It's everything. Again, headband, that's the last real thing. That's not super exciting, but whatever. So now, oh, actually, I'm not finished showing you accessories. Jeez. Keep in mind, this is my first video, so. These are the last accessories. So this is the base for the figure itself. Not much detail with this except for just some hidden leaf logos going around the bottom there. Then of course just grass and dirt, you know, on the part that he stands on. You'll see this hole. That hole, of course, is for a stand. So you take this, you put it down in there. It's pretty sturdy. It's, you know, it goes down in there. It'll wiggle a little bit, but if you get it down in there right, it's not going anywhere. And then this, of course, would be a grabber. So this portion, you can just kind of open it up like this, right? And grab that waist, put that on there. You just remove this little rubber part. I'm not gonna do all that right now. You can also kind of put it like this, so you can bend it and make it sit like this. And then this is a crotch grabber. I don't really use that much. I don't like using it. Doesn't make sense to me. So I'll probably most likely just be using like the waist grabber. And sometimes the waist grabber can even be a leg grabber, depending on what type of pose you're going for. So, yeah. All right. Now that we have all the accessories talked about, let's go ahead and talk about Naruto himself. So, just gonna keep him straight like he was when I took him out the box. Give you guys kind of like a 360 look here. Front, side, back, other side. Pretty cool looking figure. Lots of detail, of course. Keep in mind you're seeing all of it as clear as possible because I am filming in 4K, fortunately. You know, so nice little Naruto Shippuden outfit that he has on. That's another thing I wish more 12-inch or 6 scale figures came with is alternate. Oh, don't fall over now. Alternate uniforms. So, you know, obviously this is going to be his Shippuden uniform that he wears pretty much throughout the whole series. But it'd be nice to see him with, like, since again this is the ultimate version, if I'm gonna pay extra, hands are nice, don't get me wrong, and extra weapons are cool, but honestly for $50 extra, keep your hands, give me some more clothes. Now I will say when it comes to the clothing, you'll notice, I mean, really this is a very seamless look for the clothing. And again, for those of us that are used to buying 12-inch figures, it's not that big a deal. Like, this is the detail that you might be used to, right? But for those that may not be collectors, or let's say you haven't had a 12-inch figure since you were a kid and you used to have like a couple G.I. Joes, I tell you what, I know for sure the clothing on a G.I. Joe was never this detailed. The stitching was never so small, and you know, these look like real clothes at a smaller scale. They did not used to look like that when we were kids. So definitely a real big step up. And here's another cool feature that I'll show you about the clothing, and then we'll go ahead and switch over to talking about posability, because that's always a big one. We want to know, you know, as far as posing goes, because that's the cool part. That's how you want to display your figure, is based on how well you can pose it. Yeah. So there is an active zipper on the figure. You can unzip him and reveal underneath he's got a mesh shirt and a necklace. So obviously those of us that are familiar with the series know that he was given a necklace by Lady Tsunade from the first Hokage, and so that's a cool accessory to include. Definitely, like, that's a great detail for me, being a fan of the series. Look a little closer at that if you want. That's a great detail. Now, a couple different gripes I have now that we have this open. I am gonna unzip fully here the jacket, just kind of pull that down a little bit. Not gonna take it completely off, just gonna pull it down. So one gripe that I have is that my man Naruto's got a crazy long neck. Now, for the most part, people are most likely gonna pose him with the jacket on and zipped up, so the neck not gonna be that big of a deal. But Maybe if you wanted to get a more dynamic pose, like him in battle without the jacket on for whatever reason, you might have a little bit of a gripe with the neck because that's not realistically sized. So I know for those that do custom work, probably not that big of a deal, because if you had a problem with the neck, you could probably just kind of shave that down, because people who do custom work are pretty, pretty savvy at that type of stuff. Me, I'm not that big of a collector, and I'm definitely not that skilled when it comes to. And I'm gonna try to get this jacket back on here for the posing section of the video. There we go. That is way easier than it was the first time. And the necklace is still on the outside, but that's cool. I'll fix that after. So another gripe, while we're talking about gripes, is the fact that when you look at the back here, Naruto's supposed to have like a, what's the name? A pouch back here. He does not. Not quite sure why that is, and it didn't come in the box at all. Because I was kind of looking to see if, okay, well, maybe it's just in the box somewhere. There's like a peg that goes to it. But no, he just doesn't have that back pouch. And the reason, first of all, it's not that big of a deal to me as far as it being there. But when I saw the figure advertised, if you go to look at the actual pictures of the figure, it has it. So it's like, if it's supposed to come with it, where's that? So that's another small gripe, not that big a deal. Like I said, had it not been shown to me, I probably wouldn't care. But, it's just one of those things. So the next portion of this, again, I'm just going to show posability. So arms, real nice and posable arms there. Go all the way up. Real good bend at the elbow. There is a double joint there. Then, of course, the arm itself goes back a nice ways, not too far back, unless you go like this. So it can get all the way back there. That arm goes all the way back. There is kind of a hidden butterfly joint, like a mini one. Then, of course, it goes forward all the way too. So, yeah, nice little, I can't tell where the joint is. There we go. So, and of course with the wrist, got some pivot there, 360 pivot on the wrist. You can take the hand all the way around, pivot it any way you want to, just a matter of, jiggling it around, making sure you got it pivoting the way you need it to. Then of course, just being careful as far as posability. You want to go as slow as possible, because there's 2 layers of clothing that he's wearing. He's got the undershirt, obviously, and the jacket. So as you're, doing your posing, be mindful of where the sockets are. And then, of course, if you want to, when you're doing the posing, just so you can keep the integrity of the jacket, you might even want to remove the jacket when you're in the midst of learning how the figure bends and moves, because that'll kind of help you out. So when you don't see the joints, you still know where they are, so you're not doing so much damage to the clothing. But that's just a thing you kind of get into. You learn it as you go. And then, of course, for the body at the torso, that looks stupid. Let me go ahead and fix that for you, Naruto. All right, there, that's way more normal. So the body itself, the torso, nice little ab crunch there. You can see back and forward at the abs, pretty good, back and forth. So he bends back a pretty ways and forward. The neck has some pivot to it, and the head goes up pretty far. So you can do some nice little posing with the head, just because of the mobility of the neck as well. And, oh, awesome hair. Nice. All right. Now this is a live video, and I'm not doing any editing, so that just happened, and that's part of it. One gripe I have too. I feel like the hair should have magnets, and at some point I thought maybe it does, and I'm tripping, but I don't think so. I haven't actually tried to test it either to see if there's a magnet in there. But yeah, it falls off pretty easily. But anyway, I'll get to that. So that's the head mobility, pretty good there. Legs pretty far up. Don't go too far back. because the torso part right here does kind of come all the way down. So I'm hoping they fix that. But it goes out really far, as you can see, down, boom, boom. Nice little bit of mobility there. Both legs, boom, double jointed knee, so his foot goes back pretty far. Then of course this is what they call a split cut boot design. So you can get a nice little pivot on that, back and forth a little bit, not too far. This is one gripe I have about this figure too, as far as posing, is I like to be able to pivot the feet pretty far, especially because, you know, with you know, Naruto being a ninja style action figure, I want to be able to get him in some crazy poses, but it is what it is. And of course, another thing I wish they'd have, since the boot portion of this is pretty much plastic anyway, that toe pivot. I wish it just had a toe pivot, honestly. I know as far as 12-inch or 6 scale figures, part of the integrity of the figure is supposed to be like, hey, we want to make things as seamless as possible. So I do get why they wouldn't include it, but at this point, if it's going to be plastic anyway, if I can just put it there, why not? But I do get it. So that goes for posability. And then just a couple quick things here before we end this video. So posability, obviously really good. So the hair, again, we talked about removing that, and you can replace it with the other hair piece. And you can replace these face sculpts. So one thing I want to let you guys know as far as replacing face sculpts to be careful with, don't remove the whole head. So you'll see there's a split right here at the top. So the hair in the back is separated. So everything from the ear forward can actually come off, and it's better if you remove it while the hair portion is still attached to the figure. So do your thing, try to get that off there while the hair is still attached, because it makes for better removal process. And you can, you know, take one of these other face plates and put that on there. Make sure it's nice and tight. When you go to put the headband back on, it has a specific size hole, so you'll know how to put that right on there in the correct position. Boom, and here. Then you got him smiling, all that good stuff. And that there are instructions that come with it as well. So the instructions will also tell you, like, how to remove it. But a lot of us, let's just be honest, we don't read instructions, because especially if we've been collecting for a while, we don't really care about that. But sometimes the instructions do help, because specifically for this type of figure, it's just a better way to do it. Because if you don't do it that way, you know, you're ripping the head off, you know, scraping paint when you don't need to. And for those of us that are collectors and want to keep our figures in as good a condition as possible, part of doing that is, you know, removing things as less often as possible. So that's the correct way to do it in those terms. So that's, you know, just a good little tip for you. Last portion of the video, some size comparison. So this is a 6-inch scale of Naruto. So those of us who, you know, are familiar with that do know that that means not every figure is 12 inches. So Naruto is 11 something inches, 28 centimeters is the exact size. This is a full 12-inch figure. Superman, as you can see, quite a bit taller than Naruto. So once you, let's say, if they come out with another series of Naruto figures that include some adults, like Kakashi, Itachi, or whatever the case may be, you'll see Kakashi's more than likely going to be close to this size, maybe even a little bit taller. Then just comparing him to, obviously, his 6-inch anime heroes counterpart, see obviously how much taller he is there. And you can see like the difference in detail, of course, as well. So for those that are like, man, there's not that much difference, I'd rather just spend $20. First of all, you're delusional. I don't even think I would have to show you this for you to make that decision, but for those of you out there, you can see the clear difference in detail and quality, especially when it comes to like the colors, the paint apps, and all that stuff. So there's a good comparison there. Another little size comparison. This is 7-inch McFarlane series figure. You see, this one's actually approximately like 8.5 inches. So this is a 3-inch difference between the two figures. So this Hellbat armor Batman is getting his ass kicked by Naruto apparently, which makes sense, right? Naruto's crazy powerful. And that's about it, guys. So did some comparison, showed you how the figure moves, showed you all the different details as far as the accessories, the details to the figure himself, different ways to make sure that you're practicing safety when it comes to removing things and putting things back on. And safety, as far as safety goes, I don't mean safety as in like, ooh, this is how you do it without getting hurt. If you're hurting yourself when you play with your action figures, maybe no more action figures. So I'm not talking about that kind of safety. I'm just talking about, the way to keep the integrity of the figure intact when you're moving things and things like that. So remember, the biggest tip when you're doing the head sculpt, swap out, keep the neck attached to the hairpiece. Don't remove that. Just, take off the face. When you're when you first get the figure and you're not sure how the body moves and you want to get down like the different types of poses, take the jacket off, just leave that undershirt on and just move them around, see how that socket works and stuff like that. So that way when you're moving it, you're not, destructive to the integrity of the clothing, and then, yeah, that's about it, guys. So I hope my tips were helpful. I hope everybody enjoyed having like a nice little review of the figure and unboxing, right? For those of you that kind of clicked out when I introduced this guy as the unboxing, I'm sorry. That's not really what I was doing. It was a joke. Don't sue me or anything. But yeah, thanks again for joining the video, and I'll see you guys again soon with another one as soon as I can get some other figures, Gaara, Kakashi, whatever they release next. But yeah, you guys be safe, and I'm out of here.